What up, boys? Welcome back to another tier list video. Today we're going to be looking at buildings inspired by the last Reddit review episode I did. So if you haven't watched that already, it's up there. And basically there's a Reddit post that ranked all of the buildings in a tier list format. So I thought we could make that into an actual video on this channel. So if you look at the buildings that I've put onto here, there are a few things I should explain. Firstly, Gob Cage is obviously missing. For some reason this site doesn't like my PNG file of the Gob Cage. I've put it on 3 to 4 times now. It's been like, you know what? We're not actually going to put that into your tier list, even though you specifically said you wanted it in your tier list like multiple times. We're not going to put it on. So I'll talk about it in the video, but it's not actually visually there for whatever reason. Secondly, I think those are all of the buildings. The only other one I could think of that would maybe get in is Cannon Cart, because it turns into a building, but I didn't really want to put that in. Ironically, I was going to include Tornado, because I have this ongoing joke that Tornado is a building just because of how it functions within the game, but I was like, if I'm not putting Cannon Cart on, I can't really put Tornado on and then just play it off as a joke. So I either had to put both in or neither in, and I've gone with neither. So I'll just start from the beginning. They're all in alphabetical order. So Barbarian Hut. I think Barb Hut is obviously not going to be in meta or viable. I think it's going to be C or below. Personally, I would like it inconsistent, but I know everyone's going to say, nah, it's a failure. So because of that, I'm going to average it out. I'm going to go under average. I think it's a consistent card if the Barbs weren't nerfed. But because Barbarian's got a nerf and then Barb Hut got that nerf, it does seem under average right now. So I'm going to put it there. I like Barb Hut. It applies constant pressure to your opponent that they can't leave, and you get some sort of tanky Barbs along with the building as well. But yeah, I think after that nerf, it has to go in under average. Bomb Tower is just straight up failure. There's nothing else to say about Bomb Tower. I had a comment on that Reddit review episode saying Bomb Tower shouldn't be in failure, it counts expo, which I guess is true, but then like Bomber counters Skarmy, and Bomber isn't like a good card. So yeah, it has use like cases, but literally every card in the game has use cases. Even if it's like the worst card in the game, it will have a use case. So that to me is just a use case of Bomb Tower rather than Bomb Tower being overpowered and versatile. I think as a building it functions well, but in the grand scheme of buildings, it's definitely an F tier building. Cannon, I want to go inconsistent just because it's free elixir, it does its job. It's not amazing, but again, because it's so cheap and because it counters so many win conditions like so consistently, which is ironic for being in the consistent category, I think it does deserve a place in C. I don't think it's worse than that. I think C is the lowest I'd ever put it. Maybe inviable because obviously it's a staple of 2.6, but where else do we see Cannon? Like, nowhere really, so for me, that's just a consistent card. Oh, Elixir Collector. Now this one's one of the ones where I want to put in the middle of C and D, because conceptually, it's very consistent. You put it on the board for 6 elixir, you get 8 elixir back. But because spells are in every single deck ever, it's probably under average. And I don't know, I have a personal bias towards Elixir Collector. I like Elixir Collector, not because it's a good concept, but I enjoy using that concept. So I enjoy putting elixir down to get more elixir back. That's just something that seems good in my eyes. So for me, I'm going to put inconsistent. I'm going to get so many comments about that, but shush. Furnace. Ah, this is a toughie. I don't really know. I want to go consistent because it's not that great. It has like low health, but it does a lot of damage, and it's 4 elixir. It's consistent or viable. Ah, I don't know. After putting Elixir Collector inconsistent, I feel like it needs to be 1 up. What decks is it in? It's in Royal Giant. That's it. I'm gonna go consistent for now. Maybe I'll move that later. Alright, so this is the point in the video where I'd put Gob Cage somewhere. Gob Cage has just been nerfed as I'm recording this, so I don't really know right now. I had a video that went up before, what was it? Oh, it's the spells one, and it was Barb Barrel. I recorded it just after Barb Barrel got a nerf, so I was like, I don't really know where this will go right now. So it's the same for Gob Cage. Obviously, I can't visually put it onto the screen, but I don't know. Because Gob Cage was so good, and because it just got a small nerf, I would say it's inviable right now. I would put Gob Cage in viable just to be cautious. Before, it was definitely meta, no question about it. But right now, I want to put it in just viable. Gob Hut is another toughie, not so good, so I want to go consistent. It's like Furnace, but it's the other way around. It has a lot of health, not too much damage. It's 5 elixir. I don't know. There's so many inconsistent right now, and it's annoying me. I'm going to keep it there. I think I'm going to keep it there. Inferno Tower I also want to put in consistent. Alright, you know what? I'll put Inferno in consistent and move Furnace up to viable, just so we have something in actually viable. Mortar definitely goes in viable. I don't think it's top notch. I think it's a card that requires, I want to say a heavy amount of skill to use, but I also... yeah, it's hard to explain. Mortar needs a very, very specific type of deck to work, and if it's not in that deck, it's awful. But when it is in that deck, as it's going to be because it's a meta deck, and that's how meta works, it's a viable card in my opinion. Right, Tesla, definitely meta. It's not in every single deck, but it's probably the best defensive building. Tesla is, like, so underrated for me. It has, like, it doesn't have a lot of health, but it does so much damage for, like, how tanky it actually is. Like, I said it doesn't have a lot of health because it doesn't really, but for how much health it has, it does so much damage, and, like, that's insane. I'm pretty sure it, like, counters Golem 1v1 with just the Crown Towers, although I do think Golem might get to the tower, but either way, like, doing that is insane for 4 Elixir, so definitely meta. Now, Tombstone, I don't personally know. I think Tombstone, for me, goes in viable. It's not meta, it's not a great building right now, but what it is just, it's a very viable card, I guess. The irony, those are the names. But yeah, if you want to use it in a deck, it works very well on defense. You just put it down on defense, it spawns skeletons, and then slowly kills things. So yeah, I think B viable is where I would put Tombstone. Expo for me goes meta. I think Expo isn't very good right now, but Expo is just good right now. Like, Expo has been good, like, pretty much always, except when it's been really heavily nerfed. But yeah, I think Expo and Tesla are the 2 meta buildings, and those 2 as a combo is pretty insane. Am I happy with that? Am I happy with that? I don't think so. I think we should just, like, get rid of one of the tiers, to be honest. I think we literally... can I even do that? I think we delete the tier of... right. And then we go with cards in under average or viable. So Cannon is viable, you are under average, you are under average, you are under average. I don't think any of these need to move down to failure. Do any of these need to move down to under average? Probably not. Do any of them need to move into meta? I don't think so. So yeah, I think that's how my tier list would actually look, because I wasn't liking having this middle category and then having just Barb Hut in under average. I think it's on par with Elixir Collector, Gob Hut, and Inferno right now. You know what, I'd even put Inferno up here. Yeah, I rate Inferno. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it should be an under average. Now, inside of the tiers, I'd definitely go Tesla over Expo, 100%. This one's got so many cards, it's going to be difficult. Okay, I want to put Tombstone there, you to there. You, this is tough. You like that, and then you there. I think Mortar is better than Cannon. Mortar is, like, just on that tier of being in meta. Yeah, I think Cannon is the best out of those defenses, just because it has raw damage. I think Tombstone is so underrated right now, and I'm going to put it above Furnace. Even though it doesn't do damage, it's free Elixir and does so much DPS against, like, a Giant or a Golem or something. I think Tombstone will also counter a Golem by itself and leave the Golemites to the tower. I'm not sure on that one, though. Don't quote me on that. Furnace does a lot of damage, but isn't the greatest on defense, and it is a building, so for me, that has to push it down this viable category. And Inferno is on the border of under average. I made a last-minute decision to put it there, but yeah, I think it's just on that border. This one's pretty simple, I think. Elixir Collector, then Gob Hut, then Barb Hut. These 2 could definitely be swapped, but I'm not going to do that. Not like that. Just because I think Elixir Collector as a concept is so much better than Gob Hut as a concept. And maybe Gob Hut is better, but no, actually it's not. It's definitely not. I think Elixir Collector does go there. Again, Collector could even go into Viable right now, but I'm not going to do that because we have too many in Viable, and I'm going to stop messing with it. And then in Failure, I'm ranking Bomb Tower or Bomb Tower. I think people are going to disagree with that. I think people are going to say Barb Hut should go down there, but in my opinion, no. I think Barb Hut deserves its place in the D tier. But yeah, that's my building ranking. So overall, we got Tesla as the best building and Bomb Tower as the worst building. I think if you'd have told me before that I said Tesla best, Bomb Tower worst, I'd have probably gone, you know what? Yeah, that's probably accurate. Overall, I don't think buildings are in the best spot right now. I think a lot of them are weak, and that's why I was struggling when I had 5 tiers to move any actually really high up, and everything was just in C, because, yeah, it's consistent, and then we had, like, Tesla and Meta, and, yeah. So, overall, I think buildings are in a bad spot, but that's in a good spot for the game, because when buildings are a thing, they're mainly defensive, and defensive gameplay is very boring, so we want buildings to be bad, so the game is healthy, and it's offensive, and it's good. Not offensive, I guess. The game itself isn't offensive, but the meta is offensive. Who's it offending? Who knows? But yeah, boys, that's my tier list for buildings. Let me know what you think of it down below, and even your tier list. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and peace.